Honestly, one of my fondest memories is kind of a simple one. My first day on the job, I arrived at Matt's house, and his, at the time, 4-year-old son, Hank, was the one who greeted me on my first day. So that was the doorman. And I'll never forget that, because something about that one moment made me feel like I was a part of something already kind of familial, and it was good. It made an impression.
My son, who was about 4 years old at the time, thought that he was a producer, and he would come downstairs and he would say, "Are you guys done making Brawlhalla yet?" And I'm like, "Nope, not yet." And that's pretty much what he thought a producer did. That was fun, and then he'd get himself a Coke and then he'd leave.
These are the days of the Basement 5, right? And the basement was the upgrade, because we started in an even smaller room with just like a window unit AC thing. Some fun things. I mean, it's a basement, right? It's a basement in suburban Georgia, right? There are gonna be bugs.
There was life down there, mainly house centipedes, and yes, one very small, it was a very small house scorpion.
I mean, I don't know, I was embarrassed, it was my house, right?
I just hear Dolce, "Ah!" You know, and then we're all looking around like, see who broke in.
Don't put Heath and Nick scream like a girl in the video.
While he was working. And, you know, I don't remember how we all saved the day, but we all did. I mean, we all got around there and like start kicking the thing like, you know, the printer and Office Space or something.
I mean, honestly, that scorpion was the first scorpion I'd ever seen.
One thing I remember very, very vividly is how we landed on a name for Brawlhalla. It sounds obvious, right? You're like, oh, it's a pun, just put it together and ship it. But it actually took us, I want to say, upwards of 5 months to name this game.
And wow, we had done this huge process of everyone putting in hundreds and hundreds of names. We had elimination rounds and everything. It's kind of like the way we run a tournament now, but for just names. All kinds of wacky names. Some of them were really fun. Some of them were dreadful, I suppose.
I remember that people would have names, and would have names that they knew were bad. They knew they were bad names, but they thought that they were better than any of the bad names we had in the list, and so they would keep coming up.
And we had everything submitted under the sun. And first Monday of every week, those names would be printed out on these little teeny strips of paper, and we would put them on a table, and the entire company would gather around this rectangular table full of names, and we would vote them off the island.
And then when every time we settled on one or something would land at the top, we'd always be like only partially satisfied, and then a lot of members would be dissatisfied, like, I didn't like that one.
Somebody wanted to call the game Fracas, which, if you even think about it for a second, is an awful name, not least of which because no one would know how to pronounce it.
And we would do round 2 and round 3 and round 4, and I kid you not, we would spend an hour or two every Monday doing this, and we did this for weeks, for months, and still couldn't land on anything.
You know, at the time, that person was right. That was probably better than Rumble Rumble Ring Out or Arena Blitz or any of the other goofy names we had. It's surprising how much just time we spent trying to figure out what we were going to call this thing.
And then, in the 11th hour, I get a text from Lincoln, and he said, Matt has a name. Just, what do you think of Brawlhalla?
And I remember I was completing my transaction at this red box in this Walmart, and the words Brawlhalla popped up. And all of the other names were just nonsensical at that point. None of them made sense. It had to be that name. Like, that was the name.
And I don't like to admit this, but my very first reaction to it was like, I just texted back, I don't know, I was just being impulsive. I was like, I don't think I like it that much. And he was very patient with me, and he said, just think for a moment and say it out loud a few times. Just sit in silence and say it out loud a few times, and then get back to me. And I did exactly that. And I was like, Brawlhalla. 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 Yeah. And I texted back, I was like, you know what? No, you're right. That's actually really good. That's really, really good.
Come that weekend, that was it. That was the name we registered, and that was what we rolled with, and it's been puns on puns ever since.
It's important to know how to celebrate, and you have to celebrate your milestones. They can be big ones, like getting out on a new console. They could be little ones, like just closing out a feature that you've been working on for a week or so. But historically, the way to do that at Blue Mammoth is drumstick and cookie cake.
And that became this crazy driver for me. Like it was the stupidest thing, but I got fired up about it all the time.
I don't know, I feel like that's a lot about Nick, because Nick is a creature of enthusiasms.
Whenever we get drumsticks, I'm happy because he's happy, right? He lights up. It just makes my day. So if ever we hit a milestone, I'm like, drumsticks, but I'm not really thinking about my experience with drumsticks.
If you tell Nick that something is a tradition, he will take it and he will own it, and he will say, yes, that is now a tradition. And the next time around, he will say, where's my cookie cake?
It's gotten to the point now where, like, anytime anything minuscule happens, I'll like look up and be like, Matt, cookie cake?
Every one of those achievements, like, early on were such a big deal, and we used to have these, like, it was like every few months or so we'd have a cookie cake.
I don't even like cookie cake.
Cookie cake's just a big cookie.
Ice cream and cookie cake? Like the last time I had this combo wombo was like when I was in like middle school.
Okay, I don't actually care about drumsticks that much. Cookie cake's great. That's great. I'm glad we're doing that.
Cake-sized cookie. It's not even in the shape of cookie. It's just a cookie, but really, really big. Like it's more like cookie pizza than cookie cake.
But you can't mess with traditions.
Cookie cake, please. We all made it to work close to on time. Cookie cake.
But now here we are. So like every time we have some sort of big accomplishment, that's the way to celebrate. You gotta bring out the drumstick ice creams. You gotta bring out the cookie cake.
Well, it's almost like a Pavlovian thing. I see cookie cake and I get happy. We must have done something good.
Yeah, that's always been the carrot at the end of the stick, or whatever, however that metaphor works. Ours is a cookie cake.
I always wished it was cake with cookies.
BMT's fueled by that. Just sugar.
And it's always fun. You got to have at least one of those. You got to have at least one, and preferably you have both. And if it's even better, you make sure it's nice and advanced and you're ready for it, and you get something really fancy put on the cookie cake. That's the best one.
Where do I see our company 5 years from now? Whew.
I don't know how to answer that. I feel like we are gonna blast off and
we'll probably have, an office on Mars.
We're gonna take over the world in 5 years.
Probably world domination or close to it. Get that going.
It's a moon base. It's a moon base. That's where we're gonna be. So some people are, close to right, some people are in the right direction, but yeah, we're gonna be on a moon base.
10-year plan Mars, 5-year plan moon base. I don't think there's anyone up there protecting the moon. You could probably just take any portion of the moon you wish with enough investment to get there.
And more importantly, we're going to be doing the same things that we've been doing with Brawlhalla from the very beginning, which is listening to the community, building on it year after year. Each year gets better and bigger and better than the year before that. And we're going to be doing that same thing as long as the community is there and enjoying Brawlhalla and along with us on this crazy ride. It's just going to get better and better.
We're always going to be patching the game, making it bigger and better. We have no plans of stopping.
Community is the lifeblood that fuels all of us.
Till the wheels fall off, we're gonna keep creating. We're gonna keep creating. We're gonna keep cranking out more, more things for the community to enjoy.
A lot of the things that we're doing now, I couldn't have predicted.
I just want to keep seeing Brawlhalla thriving. I want it to be the best. I want to see it be the best.
We've always listened to the community. We've always listened to ourselves. We've always, I trust our company. I trust the people working here. Everybody is passionate enough. We always kind of learn things the hard way, but we always end up where we need to be. And we always get the job done. And I have no doubt in my mind that we won't continue on to bigger and better and greater things. What those things are, I have no idea, but I will certainly be around to find out.
I see. In 5 years, I imagine we will just be that much closer to being like a generational game,
I want to be able to take this game that I love and be able to continue to share it with the people that I care about and love for many, many, many years and on.
We want Brawlhalla to be the game that people come back to over and over again because they remember so fondly.
Something that maybe you used to play it and now 5 years have passed and you're a little bit older and you can share this game that you love, that you have this nostalgic feeling for someone maybe a little bit younger.
I see all our ideas being that much more cemented into gaming culture.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I want and hope that Brawlhalla will be still thriving, of course, but be living in the hearts and minds of its players.
It's hard to know where to start thanking people because it has been extraordinary.
All of us here at BMG, we want to just thank you. You, the people who are watching at home, who are playing Brawlhalla, who are supporting us, who are sharing and spreading Brawlhalla and all that stuff. Thank you.
Thank you to the Brawlhalla community. This is a crazy ride that we've gotten to be on together, and that is not stopping anytime soon, and none of it would happen if it weren't for you.
Thank you to all of our fans, everyone who's worked with us in esports, all my colleagues and coworkers.
Yes, to everyone who's tried the game, everybody who's taken the time to leave a review, even the negative reviews, they help, they're great. To everyone who's taken the time, Lord, if you bought a skin, thank you.
Big thanks to the Brawlhalla Twitch community. It's one of the places that I think we've had so much good interaction with and has really been a part of us growing from the very beginning to where we are now.
It's an easy thing to say thank you to the players because it's so true. We do thank you, especially the ones that were here early. The players that were doing things with the game that I didn't think were possible, that blew my mind, that made me realize we made something special.
We wouldn't be here without y'all today, so thank you so much for supporting us and for continuing to support us. We appreciate every single one of y'all so much.
Because I really do want to thank all the fan artists who make fan art. Just the fact that people are inspired to draw because of something we make is honestly the most fulfilling part of my entire life.
I thank Matt and Becky Woomer, who opened their home and made it not just the home for their family, but also the home for the birthplace of all this. And that was very generous and very special.
Thank you to everybody who's helped make Brawlhalla a success. It means the world.
Yeah, 5 more years. Like, honestly, I just want to see what ends up happening.
We can't wait for y'all to just continue along with us through this journey that we're on. So thank you everyone at home for watching, for supporting us, and look forward to more incredible things for Brawlhalla and BMG. Thanks everyone.